I couldn't be more excited to get this going, ladies and gentlemen. No idea how long it's been since we had a Dynasty startup draft. I'm ready to embarrass myself. I'm ready to test out my Dynasty rankings and see if there's anything that I really need to update. This will be a super flex draft. Of course, we have one quarterback rankings on flogfantasy.com as well, just in case you play in a one quarterback league. This should still be very useful for you. Even if you're in that one quarterback format, just move the QBs down. And second thing is, we are going to be using kickers as rookie picks. So if you see a kicker drafted, if I take a kicker at the 104, that means I am taking the rookie pick 101. The second kicker off the board will be the rookie pick 102. The third kicker off the board will be the rookie pick 103, all the way down the line. And this is going to be a tight end premium startup, 1.5 points per reception for the tight end position. So let's go ahead. Let's get this going. I will be at pick 4 here pretty much because I want to lock myself in at a quarterback. I mean, I will get y'all a draft where I'm pick 11, pick 10, pick 12 later in the offseason. Not for the first one. I got to play it safe here. Make sure I'm not going to completely embarrass myself. We will go ahead and take Joe Burrow. If you pull up what I have over on flogfantasy.com for my own Dynasty rankings, of course, you can see the community rankings there, the expert rankings for everybody essentially on YouTube making Dynasty content. But nonetheless, I have Burrow currently at 4. I rank them Mahomes, Allen, Hurts, then Joe Burrow, and I have CJ Stroud shortly after. We'll be interested to see how far CJ Stroud falls in this draft. But let's go. Henry says, I had one Best Ball Mania team make it to the final with only one quarterback, Goff and Watson. Well, good luck, my friend. Let's go Goff. I sadly did not sneak any Best Ball Mania teams through to the final. We got 16th in Best Ball Mania last year. I have a finals team on Underdog in the Chow Chow and a finals team in the Mastiff. So we have a couple finals teams that we can root on. I was close to getting one into the Rottweiler. It's disappointing. That Rottweiler one would have been very exciting. It would have been $75,000 for first with only a 6-person final, but it is what it is. I can sit here and I can cry about it all I want. We needed CMC to have a dud game, and of course that's not going to happen. Cal says, I want to join a Dynasty League. We have a ton of Dynasty Leagues always kicking off in the flogfantasy.com Discord. So yeah, if you're on flogfantasy.com, my friend, just make sure you're monitoring the Discord, and I'm sure that there are going to be a lot of leagues that open up. Now, this startup draft did get filled through the Discord as well. That's where I'm going to be sending the links for these startup drafts all offseason if you wanted to go through and hop in a mock with us. But you had Herbert here as a quote-unquote auto pick. I mean, I'm assuming Herbert would have gone there regardless. That owner is back in now, so that is nice to see. Really, there's not too much to discuss. Lawrence going at the 109s, maybe a little bit of a surprise. I have Lawrence personally ranked a little lower than this in my own startup rankings. If you look at what I have Herbert up at 6, and I have Lawrence down at 15. So, I mean, a little bit lower. I would also go with the rookie pick 101 ahead of Trevor Lawrence, which the rookie 101, which you can presume is Caleb Williams, does go at 111. I know maybe I am saying this and people are going to roll their eyes because, of course, I'm an idiot and I'll be the first person to admit it. Please do not be taking Justin Fields inside the first 12 picks of Dynasty startups right now. For the love of God, do not be doing that. I mean, with that being said, I don't even want to show you where I have Justin Fields ranked because it is nowhere close to round 1 of startups. I would, if you can trade Justin Fields for the 102 right now, please go ahead and do that. If you can trade Justin Fields for Anthony Richardson, please go ahead and do that. And let's go ahead. Bijan goes at the 203. So I updated my rankings over on flogfantasy.com, and I personally have Jahmyr Gibbs as my Dynasty RB1, which is sad to say. Hook 'em Lawrence. You know I still love my guy Bijan Robinson. But yeah, we have Bijan Robinson currently sitting at, I want to say, 18 in my startup rankings on the site. He is 17.5 if you look at the expert rankings. I'm sorry, he's 15 if you look at the expert rankings. He is 18 if you look at the community rankings. So yeah, I guess I may be one of the only experts on the site that have Jahmyr Gibbs ahead of Bijan Robinson in rankings, which is interesting. Okay. So let's move this over. And we have the 102 going off the board here in the middle of the second round. I mean, I personally have the 102 ranked at 16, which 102, you can make an argument it's Marvin Harrison. You can make an argument it's Drake May, blah, blah, blah. It's way too early to know. I know a lot of people want to act like they know exactly what's going to happen there. I think it's a little bit more of a question mark. But nonetheless, I mean, I would probably rather have the 102 over Garrett Wilson. So I think it's a fine value if I'm going to be honest. A.J. Brown goes at the 208. So I'm going to scroll down here just a bit. I mean, if I'm looking at my best players available, there are a couple different ways that we can go, but I'm just going to take someone that maybe I've ranked a little bit lower, but I want to make sure that we get him because I know our next guy we could probably get on the way back around in the third. So we will go with Jahmyr Gibbs at the 209. Like I said, Gibbs is my running back one in Dynasty. I personally expect Jahmyr Gibbs to expand his role next season, even if David Montgomery is going to be on the roster. Gibbs showed himself, showed that he's the elite level pass catcher out of the backfield. And at the same time, I mean, this is a running back that's getting involved at the goal line as well. So I feel very safe and very comfortable going through and selecting him here at pick 20. I mean, the 209. And yeah, I have Jahmyr Gibbs currently right ahead of the 103 and right behind the 102. So if you look at my rankings over on flogfantasy.com, I would have Jahmyr Gibbs as a sell if you could sell Gibbs for the 102 or the 101. And I'd have him as a buy if you could buy him for the 103 or 104. Okay. Bronco says, where is Kyren Williams? My friend, I'm not taking Kyren anytime soon. If you are taking Kyren over Jahmyr Gibbs in Dynasty, you are doing it wrong. Even if Kyren Williams looks phenomenal and is way better than I ever thought he would be. I mean, I have to take my L. I never thought that Kyren Williams would be as good as he has been. Jalen Waddle goes here at the end of the second. The guy that I'm going to go with is still available, it looks like. You have the 103 going here at the end of the second round. I personally would probably sell Christian McCaffrey for the 103. I mean, obviously, you still have the Fantasy Football Championship to go in your league, but we are assuming that it's going to be a draft for 2024 and beyond. And with CMC, he's young considering the fact that he was drafted in 2017, but still, at the end of the day, this is someone that was drafted in 2017, and he is a running back. So typically, that's where I am looking to go through and fade if we can. Now, Michael, happy to see you, my man. I was literally just showing my fam the pictures that you sent me from Nice. Super excited. Now, Breece Hall goes at the 302. Jalen Waddle goes a 303. I am going to be scrolling way the hell down, and I'm going to be over, quote unquote, overdrafting. I don't even know where this guy is. We're going to have to search his name. Did he already go? There's no way he went, right? Unless I'm blind. Yeah, we're going to be taking Brock Purdy here at the 304. Y'all know I have a tendency of reaching on these San Francisco 49ers quarterbacks based off how good their situation is surrounding them. Brock Purdy's locked into this situation for the foreseeable future. He just embarrassed himself on national television in front of the Baltimore Ravens. But I don't want to ignore what Brock Purdy's done all season, ignore what he's done for 2 years now, and overreact based off what we had with one primetime game. Brock Purdy has still been the most efficient quarterback in the NFL this year. And while we can sit here and say, oh, it's because the situation, blah, 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 Trevor Lawrence would be way better in the same situation. He's in the same situation next year, right? So I don't know. I'm willing to go out there and take Brock Purdy with confidence here in the third round, to be honest, especially over someone like Etienne. I mean, I will let you know I have way more Travis Etienne in my own Dynasty leagues than I do Brock Purdy. But yeah, I brought Purdy in my rankings by far and away the best value here. We did update our rankings last on flogfantasy.com before the Baltimore game. So maybe we need to move Brock Purdy down just a little bit. But yeah, I'm going to have him as a value in the third round regardless. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, those rankings on flogfantasy.com, you can go ahead and pull up whenever you want for free. My rankings are going to be behind a paywall. So these last two columns, the expert rank, my rankings, and then all the other creators that we on the site, those will be locked behind a paywall, but you can always view the community rankings for completely free. That's how y'all are ranking these guys. Just to give you a quick little overview, I'm going to update my rankings shortly, but let's go ahead and let's look at how the community is ranking these players. So just to give you an idea of the value that you can get for free over here on flockfantasy.com. Whether you agree with this or not, should help you out a lot when it comes to trades and the whole 9 yards. And we did just update our trade calculator over on flockfantasy.com as well, where if you go through and if you, I guess we can show this off. It's a really, really cool tool. But this is going to be free for a couple of uses every day for y'all. What you can do with the trade calculator, if you're a paid member of flockfantasy.com, is you can go through and you can pull whatever values that you want. So you can say, I want to look at Mason Dodd's values. We're going to go through, and the league settings here are set up for a 12-team Superflex league just like this. But if you go ahead and add in a particular player, automatically underneath, you are going to see all trades that have been done with said player, the league settings that they are in, and then say we want to trade them for Josh Allen. Then immediately underneath that as well, you're going to get updated trades that involve Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. And say we want to go through and add in Terry McLaurin, blah, blah, blah. Let's hit submit. See who wins this deal. And right now, we have it as a dead even trade, 663, 663. That is hilarious. But yeah, nonetheless, this is free for y'all on flockfantasy.com as well. You'd only get access to the community values, but still extremely valuable. You're not going to get access to all the creators that we have on the site. But if you wanted to get access to all the creators and get all the premium content you can find over there, you can find the link to flockfantasy.com anywhere. Promo code FLOCK will get you 30% off any subscription. Plus, you can check out all the premium tools, all the premium posts, and yours truly with promo code FLOCK will make a podcast breaking down your your dynasty fantasy football team, which is exciting. But Austin Eckler off the board here at the 312. I hate to say this as well, but I hate the Austin Eckler selection. Jonathan Taylor 401 is going to be a little bit more reasonable here. But if I'm looking at what we have with that Austin Eckler pick, I mean, I would easily rather have one of the kickers. I'd rather have one of the rookies, whether that's, I mean, what? The 105, 106, 107. It doesn't matter. If I can sell Austin Eckler for a mid first round pick in a super flex league right now, that is 100% something I'm going to do. And let's just count out what rookie pick would we be on. The 101 went at the 111. The 102 went at the 206. The 212 was the 103. This was the 104. So now we are at the 105. So honestly, I would probably, and you see Kenneth Walker go before the 104 here as well. I would sell Kenneth Walker for the 104 if possible. I would sell Travis Kelce for the 104 for sure. I would possibly sell Devonta Smith for the 104. Like, let me go ahead and pull up what we have with my own rankings here. Or even let's just look at the community rankings on flockfantasy.com because you can see exactly where the rookie picks are here as well. So yeah, you have the 104 above a lot of these guys in these rankings. You have the 104 here at 25 overall in the rankings. I mean, these are way, Garrett Wilson's way too low if you look at the expert rankings versus community ranks. But yeah, nonetheless, I mean, I would way rather have that 104 over a bunch of those names. Okay. Bryce Young goes 407. Honestly, not a bad value with Bryce Young at all. I possibly would have taken Bryce Young myself there if he didn't go at that pick. So I think I know what we're going to do if we get our guy falling to us. Jordan Love goes 408. So I'm going to take the rookie pick 105. I really like stacking rookie picks this early in the offseason. Now I understand, yes, this draft class, particularly at running back, is going to be a little bit weak. I understand that people aren't nearly as excited about it as they were a year ago. Just in case you don't know, this happens with literally every single draft class. Everybody's super pumped about it. And then when it actually gets to the season, it's like, oh, okay, never mind. Not as good as we hyped it up to be. It's kind of the norm so far in Dynasty Fantasy Football, but still taking a rookie pick this early on just insulates you with so much value. I love the TJ Hawkinson pick. I honestly would have taken Hawkinson over the 105 if I knew he was available. I saw Laporta Kelce go, and I thought there was no chance that Hawkinson was still there. But yeah, I mean, regardless of what people feel about the rookie class now, I think that there's going to be so much that changes with the people's minds overall over the next 5 months. I mean, we're going to be talking rookies and rookies exclusively for the next 5. So I'm fine going out there, and I'm fine getting that asset that's only going to continue to increase in value. You have DK Metcalf going off at the 412. Okay. Yeah, that Puka selection I like as well. I mean, Puka was someone that I did not really have any faith in coming into the season. I was so clearly wrong. He's been so good so far. That, yeah, Puka at the 405. I personally have him ranked ahead of Stephon Diggs, Drake London, and Jackson Smith-Njigba now in my rankings. Okay. The 106 goes off the board now. Okay, let me get my rankings up here, and let's let them help me out just a bit. Okay. God, sleeper ADP is so bad. We are going to go ahead. We will take Jordan Addison. I'm surprised to see that Addison's fallen this far. There are a few other names in this range that, honestly, I really do like. You can point to, I don't want to point out too many of the guys that are sitting here that I think are really strong values. But yeah, Jordan Addison is one of those players. This is a wide receiver that was a great prospect coming out. This is a wide receiver that so far has had a great rookie season at the same time, where I really have no hesitation at all in taking him here. If you look at where I personally have Jordan Addison ranked right now, he is 35 in my rankings. 35 in my rankings. He's 49 in the community rankings, so much lower, but 34.5 in the expert ranks. So I personally have him right ahead of Jackson Smith-Njigba and right ahead of Puka. So now I have Puka as the wide receiver 1 in this class after what we've seen this season. JSN as the wide receiver 2. I'm sorry, Addison is the wide receiver 2 and JSN as the wide receiver 3. Brandon Ayuk goes off the board 507. Really like that value with Brandon Ayuk as well. That was one of those other guys that we looked at that I believe is a strong value. But yeah, like I have Jordan Addison ahead of a lot of these players that go rounds before him. I have Addison personally ranked ahead of Devonta Smith, ahead of Travis Etienne, ahead of Stephon Diggs. And I am well ranked ahead of Kenneth Walker at the same time. Lunar says Addison over Pittman. That's the other guy that we were looking at as a strong value. I'll be interested to see where he goes. I don't want to bring his name up, though. Something that I realized now I do have to lower down these rankings a considerable amount. We had moved Kincaid up to 48, but if you look at the range of outcomes now, after his rookie season, based off what's happened over the past few weeks, I do feel like that's probably too aggressive of a ranking for Dalton Kincaid. Okay, let's move this over. Saquon Barkley goes 5'10". I believe that was an auto pick, even though Deshaun Watson is sitting here at the very top of ADP. Okay. 1 second, sorry. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry, we were muted just for a second. But yeah, we didn't even talk about it. Russ got benched today, so you do have the possibility of Russ going over to like Washington and really mixing things up next season. I mean, which you would think, considering the contract, that would have been a stretch to imagine coming into the season, but a lot has changed now that they benched him and some of those guarantees are waived. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's scroll down, see if any names stand out to us here. We're probably just going to have to go over to our rankings and try to find someone from there, which Yeah, I've seen a few names that pop off that we may want to look at where we have ranked. Rachaad White goes 607. Really like the Rachaad White selection. Achane goes 608. Achane was going to be that other guy that we were looking at. I don't want to say the two names that I am considering here just because there's the possibility that the other guy makes it back. But we're going to go with the guy that's higher in sleeper ADP just because I think maybe he's a little bit less likely to make it back around to us. So we will go James Cook, coming off a disappointing game, but he did have like 20 carries. I mean, this is a running back that's been dominant in the second half. Rashee Rice was that next guy that we were going to be looking at here, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, Rashee Rice was going to be the player we were looking at the 704, which is a little bit disappointing. It is what it is. There are a few of these other names that we can look at as well. Okay, Okay, I have one solid backup option now that our guy's gone. We're one pick away. Hopefully our option doesn't go, or we will have to call an audible here. Jared Goff's off the board. We'll just go ahead and take Deebo Samuel. I mean, Deebo Samuel's not exactly a spring chicken. Was only drafted in 2019, but a little bit older coming out of South Carolina when he was drafted. So, I mean, right now, I believe you have him sitting at 27, unless I'm mistaken. Let me go ahead and double check. But yeah, Deebo 27. I mean, we do have him stacked up with Brock Purdy, right? So we've already made that bet that this Niners offense is better than people are projecting out by taking Brock Purdy in the middle of the third. Might as well double down on said bet by taking Deebo. Oh, great pick with Tank Dell. Great Tank Dell selection. I know a lot of people were mad at us for not having Tank Dell in our top 12 dynasty wide receivers. Had a lot of people coming out saying, oh my God, this guy's the next Antonio Brown, blah, blah, blah. And I'll tell you now, if he is hyped up to be the next Antonio Brown, he is dramatically overhyped and overrated. But here at the 705, this is a phenomenal value for Tank Dell. This is a great value for Dell. You can make a very strong argument that we could have taken him at the 609 or obviously 704. Okay, and I didn't even notice, but I guess we should call out the Nick Chubb selection at the 604. I did not know. I don't know if that was an auto pick, but very similar to how we were saying, for the love of God, do not be taking Fields at the 112. Do not be taking Austin Eckler at the 312. Do not be taking Nick Chubb in the middle of the 6th round. Please, please, please do not do that. I'm an idiot and I get things wrong all the time. But one thing that I'm confident with is saying that Nick Chubb in the middle of the 6th, coming off a destroyed knee, probably not something you want to do. And you'd much prefer having someone like Michael Pittman, Rachaad White, Devon Achane, James Cook, Rashee Rice, Deebo Samuel, Tank Dell. I mean, Kyron Williams, all those guys would be much, much better. Okay. Now, Pickens goes to the 7-11, coming off a massive, massive, massive game. Now let's move this around. Try to find. I have one name that we would be looking at all the way back around, but we definitely need some backup options here. And I just need to be looking at. Okay, yeah. F this. I'm going to just be looking at my own rankings because how bad sleeper ADP is. I don't want to be missing out on anybody here. So let me get a little notepad out and start writing down my favorite players here are on the board. And the dev team over on flogfantasy.com is working their butts off right now. We have a ton of cool stuff coming on flogfantasy.com. If y'all don't know, hired a couple full-time developers. We're going all out. I promise you we're going to make it the best fantasy football site on the planet for y'all. So yeah, very shortly, we should have integration with Sleeper, where hopefully you can just be pulling up your favorite experts rankings as you are going through your dynasty drafts, as you're going through your rookie drafts in the whole 9 yards. So you don't even have to have that separate page pulled up. Okay. Yeah, Russ will be someone we're having to drop down these rankings now. Okay, I actually know what we're going to do here. So let me count this out. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 rookie picks have gone. So now we are on the 109, unless I'm mistaken. And assuming we're on the 109, I would rather have that pick than anybody currently on the board. So we'll go ahead and we'll take that selection. In early January, I'm not worried if my team is a contender or if my team is a rebuilder. A lot's going to happen. What I care about is flexibility, flexibility, flexibility. Everybody will be willing to trade for a draft pick come May, when that's all we have talked about for God knows how long now. So I'm willing to go out there, take that flexibility. The 109 in my startup rankings currently, I have ranked to pick 73, which is a considerable while back. Like, I would rather have the 109 over Dameon Pierce, over Jerry Jeudy, over Jaden Reed, over Derrick Henry, over Terry McLaurin, over George Pickens, over Christian Watson, over Calvin Ridley, over David Njoku. I'd rather have the 109 over a ton of these guys that went before it. So we'll go ahead and we will take that pick. Okay. Nolan asking if we're thinking the 403 is where Diggs should be. I honestly don't think so. Personally, I have Diggs ranked behind where he goes in this draft. And I was a big on Diggs coming into the season, and I was overranking him on our redraft channel over the past month. And the mistake that I think I made is we didn't recognize the trend early enough. We just threw it in the bucket of random variants, where Diggs just hasn't been good pretty much for almost 2 months now, where I think it probably has a lot to do with the offensive coordinator change, right? Like, the second you see an offensive coordinator change at Buffalo, Stephon Diggs is not the same guy that he was previously. So yeah, I would rather have Puka over Diggs at this point. Now, the 110 is off the board. So that was going to be the other thing that we were looking at. So now it would be on the 111. I think you could potentially make an argument that you'd rather have the flexibility of the pick than some of these guys that are currently available. But I don't want to be boring. And instead, I'm going to be going way down ADP here. And we will take Nico Collins, someone that I wish I drafted more of last season. But he's attached to CJ Stroud. Obviously, Tank Dell's great, but I don't know. Nico Collins has been great as well, right alongside him. It's not like Nico Collins is a super old player either. I mean, if you're looking at this right now, Nico Collins is 24 years old. So, yeah, I'm completely fine going out there and taking him at the 904. Zach says, I'm taking Puka over JSN and Jackson Smith-Njigba. Yeah, I mean, if you look at where I personally have Puka ranked, I mean, I have Puka much higher than these other options. Let's go ahead. Let's pull up my wide receiver rankings, and we can compare them to where we also have these rookie picks. I currently have Puka right in line with the Miami guys. I have Puka if we remove the rookie picks here. And this can also give you a sense of like what to sell wide receivers and rookie picks for, vice versa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have Puka at wide receiver 10. I have Addison wide receiver 11, JSN 12, Devonta Smith 13, then Stephon Diggs down at 14. Then Michael Pittman, Brandon Ayuk, whole 9 yards. Okay. And then obviously, if you're looking at those rookie picks, those are super flex rookie picks. If you're playing in a one quarterback format, your rookie picks are going to be less valuable. And in a one quarterback format, it would be different. I wouldn't necessarily say to sell Garrett Wilson or AJ Brown for the 102, 103. There, I think it'd be a little bit tougher to think about. Okay. Daniel Jones goes off the board here at the 9-10. I mean, this is completely fair range to go through and take a shot on someone. Okay. Yeah, I see that people liking the Nico pick. Nico honestly was probably a little too buried on the board just because the sleeper ADP is very bad. So if I was not looking at the rankings over on the site, I would not have seen Puka and I would not have taken him there. So from now on, when we do these drafts, I'm going to have my rankings pulled up at all times because I've embarrassed myself on one too many live streams to continue to embarrass myself. Okay, Miles Sanders goes here. This is like ahead of the 112 or 111 range. For the love of God, do not be taking Miles Sanders over the 111. I'd rather have a mid-second round pick than Sanders at this point. Kirk goes. We'll have to queue up our guy here. Star him. We'll queue him. Whatever it takes to get him. Okay. Let's move around. God, this ADP is so bad. Let me just go back to my rankings page. Okay, there is a guy that stands out. I don't know if he has gone yet. Let me count what rookie pick we're on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're on the 111. Would I rather the 111 or the highest guy on my board? From what I'm looking at currently with the highest guy on my board, I would rather have the rookie pick and the flexibility to make moves through the course of the offseason. So I will take my third rookie pick here. I have the 111 currently. And I really like rookie picks because the flexibility they give you through the course of the offseason. I currently have it at 80 in my startup rankings as a strong value. The 112 immediately goes after. So now we are to the beginning of the second round in the rookie picks. Z says, need rankings for championship week, Mason. I will live stream on the redraft channel later in the week. But I just assume that if you're in championship week, whatever rankings that I'm going to have aren't going to be too important for you. I'd assume that everybody in the championship is sitting there and it's good. So what I said is we'll probably put out flex rankings later in the week once we have a better idea of all the injury situations that we are looking at. Okay. Dotson off the board. So has Pickett just been straight up benched or is Pickett really hurt? Okay. So it sounds like he's really hurt. So Mason Rudolph is playing this week. But sounds like they're not pulling a Russ situation. Oh my gosh. Remember how excited I was about Pat Freiermuth this offseason? Embarrassing. Embarrassing. Cam Akers goes 1101. That's just a complete auto pick. I'm changing this. I'm sorry. We're changing that to Geno Smith. If anybody's in this draft too upset with that, I'm not having Cam Akers go with the 111. I mean, 1101. I apologize. Hopkins goes after. Chase Brown goes, we may take an ugly player here. Not physically looks wise, but someone that people probably aren't super excited about. Oh, did we do it? The pick that's a little more exciting is Charbonnet. We're just going to go Kenny Pickett. Probably shouldn't, to be honest. I believe Kenny Pickett has had one game in his NFL career with more than one passing touchdown. Charbonnet was the more exciting pick. Charbonnet was the other guy that we were looking at. Let me know, should we have gone in a different direction with that pick? I agree. Pickett most likely stinks. I agree. The kickers are rookie picks. That's what we have. Caesar advanced in the puppy 3. Hell, that Cowboys-Lions game could be a straight-up blow-up. Could be. Okay. Now, Gano off the board. So that's the 201 there, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Mayer goes to the 1108. Okay, so I know who we're taking if he makes it back to us. This is fun. I haven't done this in so long. God, I miss drafting live streams. Frymuth off the board. I believe that was an auto. I'm sorry. Let's change Akers again. We can't have that. We'll just give him Russ. Anything but Akers. I'm not letting Akers go. I'm sorry. Give him Carr. Try to make this somewhat realistic, even though we have 3 auto drafting teams in here at this point. But dear God, hopefully they come back soon. Lewis says, I was wondering how long Pickett would last. Still have good draft capital and a good enough situation. That is the interesting thing with Pickett, because obviously, y'all know I'm the first person to say that I don't think anybody on YouTube, at least making fantasy football content, is really going to be able to sit here, including myself, and give you like super strong quarterback prospect grades coming into the NFL. I mean, NFL teams can't even do it. So what I typically look at is the investment the player gets, the situation they're stepping into, and if that situation is conducive to success, and if they have any rushing upside or not. And Pickett stepped into a really good situation. You know, I mean, obviously you can make an argument that the weapons aren't the best. Make an argument the offensive line is whatever, but I don't know. I mean, you go to a team that has had a history of success. You don't have a ton of pressure on you right away. You have a great coaching staff around you. Noah made it to the final in the Puppy 2. Let's go, my man. Let's go. Let's go. I did not make it to the final in any puppies. I made it to the final in the Chow Chow and the Mastiff, but no puppy drafts for me. Okay, Stafford was going to be the other guy that we were taking, just to give you all a heads up. Stafford was the other guy that we were looking at. Sam Howell is the next highest ranked player in my own rankings, but we're not going to listen to that. We need to update those rankings and move Sam Howell lower than where he currently sits. God. I should have been searching names to see who's available before this. So we are going to play it safe. I will take what I believe is the 202 and then cry when someone that we like goes off the board directly afterwards. Like, is it too bad that we passed on Roschon Johnson for the 202? Is that a crime? No. You know, like you took Roschon in the second round anyway. It's not like Roschon was a great rookie. Let's go. I have Eckler ranked after pick 100 in my own rankings. I have Chubb ranked after pick 140. Okay, Kadarius Toney goes 1301. I'm assuming these are auto picks. The guy's profile pick is here. Maybe he didn't turn off auto. We're done changing them, though. We're done changing them. Okay. Chig goes off the board. Howell goes. Mostert, so good this year. Someone I wish I had on my teams, but I don't. He's going to be a 32-year-old running back next season. Not excited about it. I'm sorry, but if we can take the 203, whatever the 203 or Darren Waller, 203. 203 or Alexander Madison, 203. 203 or Dalvin Cook, 203. 203 over Lance, 203 over Williams, 203 over Miller, 203 over Dillon. Like, really, the only guy I'd make an argument's maybe worth more, Roschon. You know, give me the 203 over Wicks. Give me him over Hyatt. Give me him over Mims. Give me the 203 over Sutton. So I'm sorry just to be taking kicker. Mixing in a Nico Collins. Mixing in a Kenny Pickett. But, yeah. This is what I tend to do early in the offseason. That way, we can go ahead and make moves through the course of said offseason. But let's see. Chuba Hubbard goes off the board, 1308. Interesting to see Hubbard go. I mean, this is a player with a wide range of outcomes, of course. I mean, looked pretty damn good at times, had the workload in Carolina. This isn't a team that has a ton to work with, so you can make an argument that they need to have Chuba Hubbard with a serious role this next season. If you want to look at my rankings with about what we have, 136 through 150-ish range, this is what you have. Obviously, my rankings are the far right column. Then you have the expert rankings, the middle column, and then the far left, like right here, the community rankings. What I'm going to have the dev team do is I'm going to have them make this grow always at the top of the screen, where if you scroll down here, it always just hovers there. So it's easy to visualize on a live stream. Something we need to do. It's easy if you're on the site naturally, but if I'm trying to show it off in a live stream, it's not the best. I really like the Jaylen Warren selection. If you look at where I have Jaylen Warren in these rankings, he is actually maybe ahead of an early second round pick. Jerome Ford, I like the Ford selection as well. Now that we are past, that was like the 203, 204, 205, 206, 207. Now that we're at like the 208 range, yeah, I would way rather have like a Jerome Ford, Jaylen Warren than a late second round pick. Okay. 2-9 goes. Let's see, Mason, you should have been paying attention to where are we going here. I may make a weird selection. Let me know what y'all think of this. This could be horrendous. We're about at the rookie pick 110 now. Is he gone? Is Aiden O'Connell gone? Yeah, actually, he already went. Crap. Okay, we're going to panic pick Mike Williams in that case. Maybe we should have gone Cortland Sutton, but Trey Lance, R.I.P., our sweet king, having to go through and take the new guy in that Niners situation that we wanted. Brock Purdy, having to pay a hefty price to get him as well. Much more expensive than if I would have just been drafting him this time last year, which is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, I was thinking of taking Aiden O'Connell. What do y'all think of the Aiden O'Connell selection? Like, would you rather have the 206 or Aiden O'Connell this year? Can everybody please spam the chat? 206 or Aiden O'Connell? What would you rather have? Okay, 206. 206. Kickers are rookie picks. 206. What about 210 or Aiden O'Connell? Because that's what we were at. We were at 210 or O'Connell. Douglas goes. Interesting Douglas pick. I personally have Aiden O'Connell right now ranked at 148. I have him ranked after a mid-second and before a late second. Okay, any second. So maybe I should move a late second round pick over Aiden O'Connell at that point. Sutton goes. I think we'll just go ahead and roll the dice on Marvin Mims. I think Mims has shown enough to be worth more than a late second round pick at this point, even if it's just been in flashes. But now we have like 5 people auto drafting here. So I don't know. We'll let it run. We'll let it run. Okay. But I think that should be about it for this draft. So let me show you all the draft board real quick. Thank you so much, of course, for hanging out with us. Was really excited to get this going for everybody. I want to remind y'all that this is a Superflex Dynasty League where kickers are rookie picks. So say where we take Tyler Bass, I'm not actually drafting a kicker. I'm drafting a kicker placeholder for a rookie pick, and this is actually the 105. Or, yeah, 105, not 104. And then same thing all the way down the line. So we have a couple first-round picks to go along with our team, and you can remove those kickers. But I think that should be it. Of course, if you have not done so already, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you play Dynasty Fantasy Football. And if you wanted to go out there and check out any of those rankings at any times, if you wanted to go check out any of the premium contents, I mean, there's a bunch of cool stuff that just got released. The Fantasy Stock Exchange guys actually just put out a in-depth video breaking down their top 5 rookie receivers this year. The Dynasty Land guys just put out an incredible draft guide that you can go through and download, breaking down this year's rookie class. And obviously, we have the trade calculator over there on flockfantasy.com as well. If you go out there and put in any player and start a trade, you'll see all the trades that were done right underneath. So you can go through and get an idea. So you want to trade Keenan Allen. And then we also want to look at what that is if we get Jaden Reed in return. You can then also see the Jaden Reed, Keenan Allen trades. We'll go through and add in, I don't know. Who do we want to add in here? We'll add in Jake Ferguson. No, we won't add in Jake Ferguson. Let's do Gabe Davis. They clearly rather have the Jaden Reed and Gabe Davis side. But yeah, all that can be found over on flockfantasy.com. Promo code FLOCK on flockfantasy.com. You get 30% off any subscription. And yours truly will go down there and break down your Dynasty team in a podcast. But I think that's all I have for you. Again, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I really do appreciate you and really hope that you have a great day.